I know I've been pretty busy lately, so I thought we could just take a little bit to catch up. So let's talk about talking. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to be talking about what I've been up to lately. I'm still getting plant care vids out to you guys, and I do have some specific like scientific vids I still want to put out, but I want to have the right stuff ready for that. Like, I want it to be a good presentation. So some of these things have been on my list for the entire time that I've had this channel. Things like talking about a little bit more plant anatomy, and maybe going into a little bit more detail about photosynthesis, and talking about fruit and insects and things that are kind of periphery to house plants that are just kind of fun information to have, because you never know, right? One of us, enough people can follow this channel that eventually one of us will end up on Jeopardy, and maybe you guys can give me a shout out for learning something, right? But anyway, the main thing I've been doing is working. I work full-time, as you guys know, at Walmart, and we are going through a remodel, and it's a lot. So I've been pretty swamped with that. I've also been trying my best to enjoy the outdoors. I was born in the winter time. I guess technically it was autumn. But I am a summer child at heart. I love summer. I love being outside. Maybe not doing super outdoorsy things like camping, but I do enjoy looking at all the trees and the plants and the birds and the bugs and swimming. It's just a lot of fun for me. Everything is so alive, and I just can feel kind of that energy, you know. It's tough in the wintertime. I mean, winter can be beautiful, but it's tough just because everything is asleep, you know. Everything's resting, and we don't get that luxury, right? We have to just kind of work through it. But I have been getting a few more plants. I've still been trying to cut back, but there are just some plants that I get that I'm like, okay, I had to have this. But also just some fun little side projects that are kind of relevant to plants. For example, here is my SIU Blue. Now, I've had this SIU Blue since 2021, I believe. And it was a basket, an 8-inch basket that came through Walmart one time. And back then, SIU Blues were still really hard to find. So it was super fortunate that I actually found this. And it's gotten really long. I kind of neglected it for a while because it was up in my bedroom and it wasn't really getting any light, and I'd kind of forget to water it. But SIU Blue EPPerum are really hardy. So if you want to get an EPPerum that is kind of unique, has a unique leaf shape and everything, grab a SIU Blue because they're really pretty. Those kind of longer, elongated leaves, and just kind of that kind of greenish blue hue that they have, very pretty. EPPerum Padium is the species, if you were curious. But what I did was I found this trellis at Hobby Lobby, and it's basically got like a saucer on the bottom of it, right? It's really heavy, actually, because this SIU Blue is so heavy. But I decided, you know what? EPPerum does better when it's like staked up or on a trellis or vine or something. So I wanted to do that. This is the first time I've done it. And I just thought, once this fills out, it's going to look really pretty. Kind of like the side of a building if there's a trellis on it. But I figured this would be a good one to do it with just because they do grow fairly quickly. Now, I've got to make sure that it's still getting decent light. I'm thinking about putting it down in my living room because I've got some big bay windows that I've been trying to utilize a little bit more. But yeah, I like this. Some random plants that I've picked up, actually. I found this at a grocery store. The light is kind of maybe blowing it out a little bit. But what was this philodendron called? It wasn't Moonlight. The name is escaping me, but if I remember it, before I post this video, I will let you guys know. But this is a philodendron that just kind of has that really kind of creamy green color, and maybe you can't see it because of the lighting, but there are some dark green speckles in here. I'm honestly a sucker for this shade of green on a plant anyway, where it's just kind of that mix of light green and white. I don't know. Something about it is really pretty. Kind of a similar shade to Pearls and Jade Pothos. There's kind of that, almost a mint green. Maybe not quite as gaudy as mint green, just a little more refined, but yeah. I just think this philodendron is really pretty. It's kind of small right now, but it already has a leaf coming in, and I don't know. I hope that I can get this to grow fairly large, and I hope that the leaves kind of retain this color. I know that some variegation on plants reverts, but I wouldn't call this variegation necessarily, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I also found a kind of a good-sized EPPerum. Why are we talking so much about EPPerum? Isn't that interesting? I also found a good EPPerum aplissimum, which is one of the more unusual, newer ones to the plant market. EPPerum aplissimum has beautiful, elongated leaves. Reminds me of an Aglaonema cutlass a little bit, where they're just very thin. Sometimes the leaves are a little bit thicker, but this is nowhere near the same shape as Palladium or Aureum, which is just the regular golden pothos. And a lot of these, when I see them, they're actually kind of, I don't know, odd looking. They're smaller, maybe they're not very healthy, but this one is very nice, very big and full and healthy. What I will warn you about with these is that they tend to need more water than regular EPPerum, like EPPerum Aureum. These need more water. Now, it's not going to be as much water as a fern, but I've lost a couple of these in the past because I let them dry out too much and they just start to fail. So it's not a good thing to happen, but of course you still don't want to overwater it because they are prone to root rot, right? So I hope that I can do better with this one, because they also call these silver street pothos, and if you can kind of see, this is a good leaf actually. They have kind of that silver splash on them that's just kind of, oh, wow, that's actually a really good leaf. So that makes these stand out a lot. And I also think it's interesting just because it's a different species of EPPerum, which you don't see very much. So I think that's kind of cool. And then one kind of non-plant related thing, we had a lot of clearance at work with this remodel, and they have these grow kits for mushrooms. And how cool is that, that these are actually popping out of this bag. And these are edible. I haven't tried them yet because I don't think they're done growing just yet, but oh, they feel so weird too. Oh, mushrooms. I mean, don't go around touching mushrooms unless you're going to wash your hands, but mushrooms feel very bizarre. And they have that kind of underside that's weird, but I've never really tried mushrooms, like edible, like button, what are those called? The ones used for cooking. I mean, there's all kinds, chanterelles and the button cap mushrooms or whatever, but I just never tried that stuff. I've always been kind of a picky eater, so I'm trying to branch out a little bit, and I thought this might be a cool little home project. I don't know if I'm supposed to eat them raw or like season them or cook them. I don't know, maybe both, but I don't know. That should be pretty cool. I like stuff like this where you can kind of just have a kit. So another thing that I found, this was actually at Ace Hardware, and the pot is just goofy. So it was worth the $6 or $7 just for the pot, just because it's kind of quirky. But what's in this is actually a heart fern, heartleaf fern. I don't remember the species off the top of my head. I'll post it just because I don't think I actually know the species. But I do know that heartleaf ferns tend to be pretty tough. This is definitely one of the harder ferns to take care of, which is kind of ironic because when you touch them, the leaf actually feels pretty substantial. You would think that something that doesn't have the thin, lacy fronds like Adiantum, the maidenhair fern, would maybe be a little more hardy, but it's not. But never fear, I mean, I am going to try this. I've got this candle holder that opens up. It's kind of Victorian looking, which I think is cool. So I think I'm going to kind of do this number, put it inside, and kind of help keep that moisture and humidity and everything in. I'll probably set it on a small saucer with water and pebbles, kind of the old school pebble tray method, just to help keep that humidity in. And actually this is open right here, and it's also open underneath. So I may from the inside, maybe like tape this with like some clear tape just to kind of help it retain that moisture a little bit. Now, how long this will last, I don't know, but at least I'm trying it. This is my first heartleaf fern, and when I saw it, I thought, you know what, why not? Why not try it once? How hard can it be? And in a future video, I'll either show you a bigger one, or I'll tell you, hey, that died. So, what else do I have? I've got this. I told you guys maybe a few videos back that I have this Ardesia, and it is so close to flowering. Like, see all those things hanging off there? Those have to be flowers, right? I mean, I know that I think these get berries when they fruit, but these have gotten very pink on the tips, and that just tells me that these are going to open up soon, and I think they're going to be beautiful, small, potentially very fragrant flowers. Maybe not jasmine or gardenia fragrant, but I mean, I'm hoping for something cool. And I'm just so excited about this because I didn't know that Ardesias did this, because Ardesia is a little more of an uncommon plant, so it's not one you hear about a lot. It's not even one that you see very much, but it's gotten very tall since I've got it. Now it's lost the bottom leaves, but that happens. That happens with, I think Ardesia, it's either a shrub, I don't think it's a tree in the wild. I'm pretty sure it's a shrub. And as you get that secondary woody growth on the outside, you tend to start losing leaves. So that's not a big deal. That's normal. I've got a couple of small pieces in here too. But anyway, as soon as this thing flowers, I'm going to let you guys know because I'm just so excited. And I could look up pictures, but I don't want to spoil it. I feel like this is a surprise for me. So I'm just going to leave that alone. Now, I don't want to move it. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see it. Right down here in this corner is my Hoya Oova. And I was watering yesterday and I noticed a cluster, I don't know if that would be considered a raceme, but a cluster of flowers that are beautiful. They're geometric shape. They haven't opened yet, but they've kind of got a star kind of shape to them, very geometric. They're pink, they're flat on top, they're smooth. I'm gonna post like a video or a picture here so that you guys can see it. But I saw that and I'm like, what? What is going on? I mean, I knew it was flowers, but I've never had a Hoya flower. And I've never really been that into Hoyas, but I love the Hoya Oova just because of like the speckles of silver that it has in the leaves. And the leaves themselves are just that kind of amazing ovate, like oval shape. So yeah, I'm excited to see what it does. I've heard that some Hoyas have really good smelling flowers and that Hoyas have beautiful flowers if you can get them to actually do so. So I must be doing something right with it, so I'm kind of proud right now. But isn't that how we all are though? Like when we see our plants flower, we know we're doing something right. So that can be very gratifying that we're, you know, taking care of our plants the way that they want to be taken care of. So we're all just kind of proud plant parents. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm trying to think if so another little piece of information. I've talked about doing a live stream, maybe just for like an hour, just to give some of you the opportunity to kind of communicate with me live. I think that would be fun. I used to stream video games a little bit, and I enjoyed that kind of dynamic of interacting with people that way. So I kind of wanted to try that on YouTube. And I'm thinking, what is today, Sunday? I think I want to do it next Sunday at 7 o'clock Central. So at the time of this video, next Sunday is going to be, oh no, I think it is the 11th. I'm pulling up my calendar. Yes, Sunday, August 11th at 7 o'clock Central. So if you're in California, take away a couple of hours. If you're on the East Coast, add an hour. Is that right? Yeah, 7 o'clock would be 8 o'clock Eastern, or 5 o'clock Central, you know, or no, I'm sorry, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Central. Anyway, and if you're in another part of the world, I can't even do the math. Like, that's up to you guys. But yes, Sunday, August 11th, 7 o'clock Central. Be there. We'll just talk a little bit. If you guys want to see any of my plants, I can just sit down here and you know, kind of show you around a little bit. I am still planning on doing a plant tour. I was trying to finalize some of my selections and get everything in order so that you guys can kind of see the things that I plan on holding on to. Because some things I've only bought just to make these videos. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of them, but I wanted to make sure I had something to cover for you guys. So yeah, if you have any questions, think of some questions, ask me some questions. I love being here for you guys and having those interactions. And I can think of a couple of subjects too that we can talk about that might be fun. So that's really all I have for this video. I've rambled long enough, I think, but yes, be sure to join the live stream if you can. I look forward to communicating with some of you guys, a little more directly. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. So until the next one, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you.